This is your Weather Xtreme video for Saturday, May the 21st. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning into the Weather Xtreme video this morning. Surface map shows a weak surface low over the Carolinas, and while they're not showing much in the way of a trailing front, there is a slow-moving cold front across central Alabama that is allowing a few pop-up showers to occur across the northeast sections of the state. In the upper atmosphere, we have weak ridging with a bit of a trough off to our west, and the ridging will be getting stronger over the next several days, and we have some warm weather ahead of us. This morning we do see some fog and some low clouds across the state, and temperatures basically fairly mild, as most of the state basically in the 60s, or at least let's say the northern two-thirds of the state. Across the southern part of the state, many of those locations reporting temperatures around 70 degrees. Watch warning map is relatively clear of things going on this morning, but there is going to be some severe weather coming up this week ahead, especially across the Central Plains. The quantitative precipitation forecast, or QPF, shows that much of the wetter weather is going to be staying off to our west and to our north, as you can see an absence of much rain across much of the southeastern United States. The Storm Prediction Center is outlooking a slight risk of storms today, day one, across parts of Oklahoma and Texas and southwestern Kansas, as well as parts of Wyoming and Montana. For day two, the slight risk area doesn't move much, as the weather pattern is not moving much, as we'll see in a moment when we look at the models. But we see that slight risk all the way from central Texas all the way to central North Dakota. Day three, the slight risk confined primarily to Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. And then as we get out to day four, we see that also in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, parts of Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa. And then, believe it or not, day five, we have over parts of Missouri and Illinois primarily. And then even day six, we have a risk over parts of north central Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and parts of Kansas. And then day seven, believe it or not, yes, that's right, day seven, we have a slight risk area over parts of Arkansas, Missouri, the southeastern parts of Kansas, northeast Texas, and eastern Oklahoma. All right, let's get to the models and see what is moving and what isn't moving. There's our surface pattern for today, and we see high pressure settling in, and that's going to be moving that rather slow-moving front off to our east and south, and that should clear things out. In the upper atmosphere, we do have a bit of a trough over the eastern coast, primarily, with a fairly good ridge over the central part of the country, and then another trough over the west coast, kind of a double-barrel trough situation. By Sunday, the trough over the eastern part of the country is gradually beginning to move a little bit as the ridge inches our way, and we still see that trough over the western U.S. So not much change for Sunday as the high once again settles in all the way from the Great Lakes all the way down into the lower Mississippi River Valley. We don't see a lot of change for the next several days. Looking at the upper air pattern, Monday we see the ridge pretty much over the Mississippi River. By Tuesday, it is still over the Mississippi River, but making its influence felt more in our direction. So we're going to see dry weather for Monday and Tuesday. By Wednesday, the ridge is in place all the way from the western Gulf all the way up into the eastern Great Lakes. And we may be getting warm enough by Wednesday that we'll see some isolated showers. I think the GFS continues to pretty much overdo the amount of rain area that it's showing on the surface map, but still I think isolated showers a possibility on Wednesday. Thursday, the ridge is still here, but we're now beginning to see the trough over the western part of the United States begin to come out of the Four Corners area, and that does begin to come out or show signs of coming out on Friday, and this is why you can see the SPC has got severe weather out in the Central Plains states for the next 7 days, basically. In the meantime, we're pretty much under that ridge, and once again, I think we're going to see scattered showers a possibility as we head into Thursday and Friday. And at the surface, we see that there's a nice surface low out there in the Plain States, but it stays there. Now, something interesting begins to happen on Saturday. The trough to our west comes out to the northeast, headed for the western Great Lakes, so it's not really going to impact us that much. But notice what we see the GFS painting over South Florida, parts of Cuba, and the Bahamas. Yes, a little bit of a closed upper low. We don't see much at the surface, and the GFS suggesting once again scattered showers is a possibility. But let's go. But before we go out into voodoo country, let's take a look at the European. And interesting, the European doesn't seem to be doing the showers quite as significantly as the GFS is. And that's been the way it's been for the last several days. Now, going out into voodoo country, the GFS brings that feature up to the Alabama, Northwest Florida coastline on Monday, May the 30th. And if we take a look at the surface map, underneath that, it has a surface low over the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. Could this be a future tropical system? Might it be called Bonnie? Your guess is as good as mine. But let's hope that that feature doesn't go away, or if that's what you're looking for. I don't want to hope for a tropical storm, but let's see what that feature does tomorrow. My guess is it probably won't be there. The GFS keeps that feature and moves it through June 2nd along the Gulf Coast. And we see it now over or just off the Louisiana and Texas, Southeast Texas coast. And then finally around the 6th of June, a trough coming out of the north central United States finally picks up that feature and begins to take it out. And that would look like a pretty wet pattern to start June over the southeastern U.S. Well, that'll do it for the Weather Xtreme video for this morning. I expect to have the next one posted first thing on Sunday morning. So remember, you can always check back with the blog for notes on Alabama's weather. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a great day and Godspeed.